Hey everyone. So it's been several months because I lost track of time. Let's go with that. But it is mid-finals season for me, which, is a great marker of how I'm actually doing this to record college time, doing it in the middle of finals after most of them are done. But it happens. Sometimes I die during the semester and forget to do things. I only have one final left, organic chemistry, which is going to be incredibly fun. So wish me luck. But just to motivate myself to actually start doing this again, because I want to remember more about how I am during this time, I thought I would talk about my experience working as an intern in one of the biomedical engineering labs at Hopkins. It's been a wild ride. I think I mentioned it in one of my last videos. I started working there in May-ish, and I worked there over the summer, and I worked there for this semester. Honestly, working there mid-semester was probably a bad choice for me, just so far as balancing study time and doing the whole half-hour ride to the lab and staying there for several hours and then coming back. It's a commitment, and it was good this semester, but probably wouldn't do it mid-semester again, at least in that format. Works for some people, though, just not for me, not my thing. I'd rather do it when I have time to dedicate to it. Academia as a whole is something I've known a lot because my dad is a professor, and it's weird. I think it gets very focused on just pushing out papers, and it annoys me when research has to be focused on that. Not that it isn't good to try to replicate actual results of experiments, because I think that there's a problem with people trying to say that they did something that never works again. Literally every time I pull up some protocol that a different lab has done and try to do it myself, it never works like they say it does exactly, because they have some technique in their lab of pipetting or something that they do just a little bit differently and makes it work. And you don't tend to think to write down details, always. But the way that labs are structured is very much just get that next research paper out. Depending on the lab, depending on the professor, depending on your grad student or PhD student. But the person I was working under was definitely very focused on that, but kind of in a way where it was always weird because he lives like train ride away from here. I'm in Maryland, Baltimore, and he was living in DC, which isn't really the best situation if you're going that far every day. So it was a bit of a struggle because he would not want to come into the lab and would want me to come into the lab, which doesn't always work with your schedule as an undergraduate student. But he has to do what he has to do, and I need to make sure that I learn things at college, which I am paying money for. But as a whole, I think I learned a lot at the lab. I definitely learned my way around figuring out how to do things by myself and not being uncomfortable asking random people working at the lab for help with something, to teach me how to do some kind of standard procedure, and just with going through a bunch of random materials in the lab fridge that hasn't been cleaned in too long. Another note, my lab tended to clean things pretty often, but my old lab in Minnesota definitely didn't. And even the lab I'm at right now, the green lab, is not that organized. Like I was pretty impressed when I came here how good it was. And I think, see, because they can't actually let any kind of custodians into half of these places because it's too much biosafety level high and too much general, maybe don't put your hands in the toxic chemicals for them to have your average custodian, which just means that everything gets really dirty. Nothing's organized, and honestly, I'm just saying the flammable hazard cabinet smells like suspiciously smelling like anything. Like, I'm pretty sure there shouldn't be that strong of a smell without something being spilled, but the standing protocol is just don't worry about it. Yet I'm gonna continue to not worry about it, increasingly so because I'm not working there anymore. Well, I think I have complained about my experience enough there. I hope that I also got across that I got good things out of it. If there's anything more you want to know, leave a comment. I will try to actually do this regularly, probably more once my finals are actually done. See y'all later. Bye.